January 2025, I had a record month. I ended up doing over 70K on Instagram. I'll explain how I did it. I'm a content creator. My name's Owen. I started doing content in 2023, actually 2022, late 2022. After I played Fortnite professionally and went through college, I was kind of looking for the next thing for me. And so I started posting TikToks. I was really inspired by Marcus Milioni, his running stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'll just start there. So I did 75 hard, was posting hybrid training stuff. And honestly, it went really well. I ended up getting my first brand deal at the end of that with Whoop, which I've talked about many times, but they were paying me about 4K a month for 6 months for UGC. And at the time I had no idea what UGC was, but basically it's making videos for brands that they can use as ads, either through Meta or Facebook, any of their ad spend methods. So that's what I did. I ended up leaving my corporate job because I got a few more UGC deals and it went really well. So at the end of that, I just basically did the creator rewards program, grew on TikTok, got to about 130K followers on TikTok. Haven't used that platform in a couple months, but that's pretty much where I'm at now. And I ended up making a UGC community to help other UGC creators do UGC. And I also run a creator agency, which is basically me managing creators for brands. So brands will come to me and be like, yo, how much to manage creators per month for our brand? And so combining all these different ways to make money, which Instagram's my main platform, I made about 75K last month, which, was really crazy to me. I know in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that much money, like if you really think about it. But at the same time, I didn't come from money or anything like that. And so, I sent a screenshot to my mom of my bank account balance. And that was, it's just a really weird thing. So I'm super grateful for that. But I want to talk today about how you guys can do that too, because I do believe we are in a very good era. I used to have a lot of limiting beliefs about, where I'm from, not growing up with a ton of money. Like, can you even make a lot of money when you're young? Is it morally right to make a lot of money? Like all these questions that I had. And I just want to get into that with you guys. So first things first, in order to make money, you have to provide value. And by value, I mean, you have to make people money, basically. It's that simple. So for me, the first thing I did is I had a sales job and I was providing value to the company by doing outbound for them and getting people that were interested in buying on the phone, qualified leads. And so that's how I got paid, is because I was making them money. So let's say they're paying me like 4K a month at the job, and I bring clients on, and each client that signs is 20K a year. So in order for them, like the brand knows that if I'm going to do my KPIs, my key performance indicators are, let's say, 20, 30 book calls a month, whatever it is, like a book call a day. Then from that, they're going to end up converting like 4 or 5 of them, which should be about 100K a month if I'm hitting my KPIs, which means they can easily pay for me. And that's a company that'll scale very well. Now it's maybe a higher close rate than most companies and the sales process takes longer, but roughly that's how it works. So that's why you get paid, is for creating value like that. So when you're making videos for brands, which is what I do now, you're basically doing the same thing. If you make a really good video and it performs really well, the return on ad spend is high, then you're going to get paid very well by the brand if you obviously know how to negotiate and you understand what your worth is. When I started out and I signed my first contract, I didn't put anything in there about usage rights. And so they ended up spending tens of thousands of dollars a day on my ad, which made them a ton of money, like a very outsized amount returned based on the videos I was making. So I actually was extremely underpaid, because you might think, oh, 4K a month for videos, that's crazy. Yeah, but if I'm making you $100,000 a day, then that's an extremely good trade-off. Obviously ad spend is a component and there's so many other costs to consider. But if you're making videos and you're getting eyeballs on a product, that's a ton of value that you're bringing companies. And I think it's really important for creators to understand how much value that they can bring, because everyone right now is trying to solve the issue of distribution, which usually comes down to having good creators. So if you want to make money, you have to figure out how to do that. I think it's actually not that hard. I think there's a lot of ways to do it on Instagram and TikTok, and you guys scroll all day, you know what videos will do well. It's just, are you brave enough to put it out there, or is this what you want out of your life ultimately? And those are decisions that only you can answer. But I do believe most people have the capacity to post and make content that applies for a lot of people. So if you ever want to run a business or you ever want to make a lot of money, then you need to understand sales and marketing. And marketing is how well you can get eyeballs on what you're doing. And there's a lot that goes into it, but basically let's just start with this. You have top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel. So if you look at a company like Red Bull, they'll post insane stunts and stuff like that, which is really top of funnel. But every single person that they post is wearing a Red Bull helmet, and all the comments talk about, is this related to your drink? Is this, you know what I mean? So basically every time you're scrolling on social media and see a Red Bull video, you're getting made aware of the fact that Red Bull bottle is energy drink. And they're doing all these crazy things in order to get eyeballs on the content, because eyeballs is truly the most important thing. And then from there, you like kind of niche it down to make people aware of what you're selling. That's middle of funnel is awareness. And then bottom of funnel is actually converting, which would be people, going to the store, buying, that kind of thing. So when you're on social media, if you want to get the most eyeballs, just make stuff that's most applicable to most people. Similar to how Red Bull does with those athletes, you can do talking about things like dating and relationships or fitness or trends or any of these things that are extremely applicable to most people. And that's how you can go viral easier. My first 100 million video views on TikTok were mostly about fitness and storytelling and stuff like that. My second 100 million views on TikTok were mostly about dating and relationships and interpersonal connections and stuff like that, because people are ultimately very interested in things like that because it applies to them directly, and everyone's honestly interested in dating and relationships. It's it ties into our core being of why we're here, right? We're kind of here to reproduce, and I know obviously there's some people who have no interest in that. That's totally fine, but just biologically, from a biological standpoint, you can feel that intense drive for most people, and so it's a very easy topic to get more views on when you're starting. And then the other thing is just positioning. How are you going to position yourself and your personal brand long term? When I talk about positioning, I've positioned myself now as a UGC creator and creator expert. So people come to me and they're asking me about everything creator, short form. Brands are asking me, creators are asking me, founders of different companies are coming to me. And that's just because I position myself as a UGC expert. And I think that's extremely important to do, is learn how to position yourself. And you can't do that unless you actually go out and do something first. I would never be able to position myself like that if I wasn't who I said I was. You know what I mean? So figure out what it is that you can position yourself as, and you're like, man, I don't really have anything, I'm just kind of a normal person, then just start posting. Post your day in the life as a normal person. Be authentically you. There's a guy who he's like, this is my day in the life as a normal 35-year-old that goes to a 9-to-5, and that guy just quit his job because he got so many followers from posting his normal day in the life. So it's really important to understand that you don't have to be anything crazy. It's the fact that you're uniquely you and authentic, and owning it and not trying to be someone that you're not, is people are gonna appreciate that and love that. And that's where you can have a huge advantage, as being you. No one else can be you. So you have to actually be you, and then things will come from that. A lot of people are like, well, what should my niche be? What should my purpose be? Blah, 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 blah. Try posting first, being authentically you, what's going on in your life, and then go from there. You can be like, well, I'm a normal person. I really like fitness. I really like, going to church. It's like, okay, so just post about that. And then from that, maybe your fitness stuff doesn't do well, but your church stuff does really well. Then you're kind of guided into that purpose through content, which is honestly amazing. It's almost like a Harry Potter sorting hat kind of thing, where you're talking about different things, and then people see you for a certain thing, and that's where you go. So, I just wanted to encourage you guys, understand that there's lots of ways to make money now online through social media. I'm not an influencer. Sure, I have 130K on TikTok, 20K on Instagram, thousands on other platforms and stuff like Twitch or Lemonade or stuff like that, but it doesn't mean technically most of my money comes from me doing UGC creator business stuff, right? And so, which I love. That's much more purpose aligned with me. So in order to figure out what you want to do, just do what you are currently and put it out there and be vulnerable and authentic, and good things will happen. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk soon.